Welcome back everyone. Got this classic Italian racing bike in the stand today. Late 80s, handmade in Italy, Rossin. Kitted out with Shimano 600 Tricolore. Needs a bit of a restoration, a major service. Get it rolling again. So what's the plan? Well, we're going to get it rolling again, as I say. We've got some new tyres going on there, new chain on here, full new original cables going on here. Get rid of this hideous bar tape. I've got some much more period correct bar tape. Needs a hell of a clean. I don't know where it's been living all its life, but it doesn't look like it's been used for a very, very long time. I think it's almost catalogue correct actually, obviously apart from this hideous bar tape. I've got a picture of that. I'll put a scan up for you shortly. Show you what it's supposed to look like back in the day. I'm hoping I can clean these calipers up a bit because they're very, very corroded on some of these bolts. We'll see what we can do, see if we can at least improve the look of them very slightly. But pretty much the whole bike is 600 Tricolore. No label on this front hub though, so it could be a 105, I'm not sure. Because on the rear we've got 105 fitted, so I'm guessing the front is a matching pair. So we've got an old Uniglide cassette on here. I'll show you what that's all about. It's not Hyperglide, this is pre-Hyperglide Uniglide. So we'll have a look at that. Hopefully this cleans up because I don't have one of those, that's for sure. Could probably get one, but arguably one of the nicest looking derailleurs they ever made, the 600 Tricolore. It's a bit of a sorry state this one, but I think it will clean up a lot better than this. I'll say we've got all new cables to come in as well. So the corrosion on this back one is even worse here and here. So again, we'll take these off and see if we can clean them up a bit. The whole brake underneath the paint is corroding as well, but you know, it's patina at the end of the day, guys. We're on 600 cranks with biopaste rings. Again, a little bit tatty. So definitely not in the best of condition. As you can see, there is a lot of patina all over the bike, the frame, all the components. But we'll get it rolling and it'll be a massive improvement of what it is, that's for sure. But once it's all back together and rolling again, you'll feel a bit safer, I think, on this one, that's for sure. By all accounts, this bottle cage is something special. I can't say I'm a connoisseur of bottle cages, so if anybody knows, let us know. All right, let's make a start. If it's extra bright today, I've got the sun coming through the window, sorry, but not much I can do about that. Go stay to this jockey wheel, oh my God. So I'm going to get this chain off before we do anything else, disgusting. I'm not even going to look for a quick link on this, just disgusting. Gotta be really careful with these are like £20 a pair, just ridiculous. There you go, we're out. Look at that, it's got an O-ring in it. Flipping it. Or washer on it. There's no pedals on this, it didn't come with any. Look at that thread, beautiful. Bottom bracket is lovely. We'll get it out anyway, get some grease in there. I'm not promising I'll get this fixed cup out, but we'll try. To be in an Italian frame, you don't know if this is Italian threaded, which is the opposite to everybody else, so I'll have to do a bit of digging. Hopefully it's marked on here is which direction it is, but I'm pretty sure it's an English thread on this one, BSA. 170mm in case anyone was wondering. Right, I'm pretty sure I bought all new cables for this, but I'm going to be just slightly careful just in case. I can't remember, it's a long time I've had this now. I've had this bike for, I don't know, probably almost 6 months waiting to be done. And today's its day. Obviously it's mine, it's not customers. We'll definitely need this bit because it goes into there. They're different to nowadays. I know some people collect derailleurs and put them in display cases, and I'm pretty sure this will be one that I would get for a new old stock one, but wow, they're expensive. This and a short arm XT, fantastic things for that. Jesus, look at the state of this. I'm hoping it cleans up. I'm sure it will. It's all alloy, look, there's no corrosion on it, so this looks like quite a new cable, but they're all coming off. Tiny little things. Right, on the cable, there's a little port here that covers the end of the cable. I've never seen that before. I thought they all just pulled straight out the end here, but pop that out, and then you get the T-cable. 6400. Obviously a friction shifter, sprung loaded. Don't lose them. So you've got an old friction mode on this one as well, so if you've got indexing problems when you're out on a ride, flip it to friction. Put it back to SAS. Take these off and give them some lube as well. It's only an Elite, I can't see that being expensive. Nothing's integrated, obviously. All the cables are external. And so far, corrosion-wise, we're looking good, nothing's seized. Nothing, look at that, perfect. And these cables, like I say, I've got replacements for these in hopefully the right colour. First minor struggle getting this bolt out. So there's a lot of rubbish stuck in here, basically just clean all that out, look. 600 headset as well. I think the original seat post and saddle certainly is gone, but we'll see what we can do. There you go. She's out. The original pad holders, etc. So looking good. So I'll just see if we can. I'll just see if we can clean this up a bit. It still works. The handlebar's got mind of their own. I thought it was grease, but it's not. This one just unscrews with the toggle bit. Right, let's see if we can get this stem out. Got a little cover in here as well. It's literally perishing in front of my eyes. It's out there. Right, this bolt is pretty deeply recessed into there like that. You see, it's right down there. So you're gonna have to put something on the end of this to give you some leverage. Something like this nut spinner. All the leverage in the world now. There you go. Give this a bit of a love tap as well. I bought a new mallet because the other one was getting really badly damaged and actually marking up plastic components, so I've got a new one now. They don't last forever. Right, that's straight out, good. And there's the bars. And again, headset actually feels really good as it is, but we'll get it out and get some grease in there. Oh, super loose. Let's peel this out with a magnet. What we got in here? Bearings, hopefully. That's pretty tight there, so just going to clean these threads up. Nylon brush here. Drop a lube as well. I've changed my microphone, I put my proper lapel one on there, so see how that goes. Oh, come on! It's got a tight spot, that's for sure. Right, I'm just going to chuck the wheel back in and get a spanner on here. Just so I can brace it between my legs now and use the spanner on it, that's all. 32 will be good. 32, Shimano spanner as well, beautiful. Just get past that tight spot, that's all. It's not super tight, it's just too tight to be able to do with your hand. Right, that's off. Bearings looks to be in fantastic condition, so I'll just be getting some grease in there. Beautiful. Fork will just drop out now. Again, very good condition, just needs cleaning up. Alright, bottom bracket, let's have a look at that. So I'm not taking these cups out, there's literally no point. And if you did, you'd need one of these tools here, drop it through the frame, clip it underneath it, like that, and then just tap it here with a hammer and it'll come out. Same on the other one as well. Literally no point there. Right, let's try the bottom bracket. Again, this Shimano spanner should fit perfectly. I believe it's a Shimano bottom bracket. There's this plate to hopefully stop it sliding around too much. There you go. Then you get your peg spanner in here. Not normally too tight on this side. Yeah, once it gets going. That's the other side that the fun and games start. But again, it's not critical to get it out. All I'm going to do is clean the old grease out, so you don't really need to take that out. But obviously got to get this out to get to the bearings. Beautiful condition as well, look at that. Wow. Just very dry, that's all. There's a bit of plastic sleeve in here as well. There we go. There we go. Ooh, nice. Right, I'm going to give the fixed cup one go just so I can try and clean this out a bit better because it's pretty crusty in there. You can really do with the tap running through. So let's try and get the fixed cup out as well. I'm just going to remind myself if this is left or right because there's nothing marked on there. I think either MB or the BC gives you a clue. I honestly can't remember. It's been 30 years. Anyway, I use AI for so much stuff now. It's just so much quicker than a Google search. It just gets you straight to the right answer. Yeah, so 137 means it's just a normal left-hand thread. If it was Italian, apparently it would say 36 times 24 on there. So make sure you get that right, especially if you're working on something Italian here. You've got to get that right. Let's have a look, see if this is going to play ball. Put your hand flat on there. I've got tools and whatnot to hold it in, but sometimes it comes straight out. The rest of the bikes behave, so hopefully. Maybe not. No chance. Right, I remember now. I bought a special tool for this. I've just got to find it. Give me half an hour, I've got to find the tool. But I bought a new toy. Found it. I forgot I bought this. So this is basically dedicated for this. This drops through here, screws into here, and clamps around the cup itself. So there's no chance of this falling off. And then you've got all the leverage in the world. If not, you can put a lever on here as well. So let's just give this a quick go. Yeah, still really tight. Breaker bar. Well, this is a trolley jack handle. Slide this over here, like that, and then we should have plenty of leverage. If not, I'll get some heat on it. Wow, there you go, beautiful. That's the good tool that is. I forgot all about buying that, honestly. In a pretty sorry state in here, that's for sure. So I'll clean all that out and I'll run a tap through there before we put that back in. Now, that's pretty much a bare frame. Just going to take the seat post out now. So I'm just clamping it lightly on this top tube here. There's already major scratches here, but there's no stickers. That's the important bit. There's stickers here and there's stickers here, so we avoid those. It's not tight, it's literally just holding it there for you. I don't think this is the original seat post. It's certainly not the original saddle, but I don't have anything in at the moment. That's going to be more appropriate without robbing it off one of my other bikes. So for the purpose of this video, this saddle will be staying, unfortunately. Probably an old turbo would be nice, something like that. Right, that's out, that was easy. Super short. I'm not convinced it's the right size, but it was holding it. All looks good in here. A little bit of light corrosion, nothing major. The world's longest bottle cage bolts I can see. Okay, I'll just run a honing tool down there just to clean that out. Now the bottom bracket's out. This is a flex hone tool, basically these little grinding stones here, and it's sprung loaded, so it'll ping itself open against the frame and just very quickly clean it up. Don't go crazy with it, obviously you don't want to make it any bigger, you're just cleaning up the very light surface corrosion. I got told off, quite rightly so to be fair. The Kona video I did last week, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. I did this without taking the bottom bracket out, but it's not the end of the world because those bottom brackets are completely sealed units, basically completely encased in steel, so there's no real way any dust would have got into it. But yeah, you're right guys, should have took it out. I should just clean that surface up, that's all. Let's just clean that up, perfect, lovely. Compressed air. Oh shit, should have shown you that. Damn, I've just blown most of it out, sorry. So that's the bare frame now, just needs a quick clean up. Not too bad at all actually. Obviously, like I say, I'll run a tap through here as well and clean it up best I can. Like I said, there's plenty of patina on here, so it's not going to be a garage queen, that's for sure, but I think there's plenty of life left in here yet. I forgot, I've also got a brand new sticker for this tube, so it's Columbus Matrix. So I've got some replica stickers to go on here as well, because that's disappeared. So we'll put that on as well, that'd be nice. Give it a quick wipe down and polish, and then come straight back to you. Right, I've cleaned it up the best I can. Well, it's got some years of use on this. So this gear cable and bottom bracket, it actually goes through the bottom bracket shell, like that, and out the other side. It can be difficult to show you like that. And that's how that runs. Metal on both sides. There's even a groove here at the front where it's been rubbing over the years, so I'll be adding some liner to that is for sure. Yeah, that's how they did it. Crazy. You see inside there, inside the lug where the tubes have been mited in. Right, I'm going to run a tap through here now, clean all this up first. Get some oil in here first. This is cutting fluid. We're not cutting any threads, we are just chasing them, but nice heavy duty stuff. 54, I'm guessing that's the frame size. Alright, I'll just run these through because it's a bit difficult to do without getting in the way of the camera. Come on, finger. Alright, the threads are good. It still looks a bit corroded, obviously, just because of the age of the steel, I guess, but we know the threads are good. Well, I'll get the seat post back in now. I'm just going to try and tidy this bolt up first because it's not very good. Made in Italy. Maybe it's the original one now. Just clean it all up, get some grease on there, and get it back in. These normally snap so easy. If you get a cheap Chinese one of these, they snap so easily. This one seems to have survived the years. So I'll clean the seat post up a bit on the Y wheel. If I was keeping it, I would put a better seat post on it, but once this bike's done, I will be selling it. I purchased it just for this video, like I say, probably 6 months ago now, so it's been waiting a while to be done, but let's tidy this up a bit and see how it looks, get some grease on there. Again, it's not the original saddle, but yeah. .26.2 is the size. Like a Shimano Aero one would be lovely, but I don't think chances of getting one of those in this size would be very slim. That'd really finish it off, wouldn't it? Right, let's get some grease in here anyway. Well, something Aero would look good. Definitely. And a nicer saddle. Oh, seems to have got it quite easily. Well, I think what I'll do now, put the headset and bottom bracket back in, and then we can start looking at cleaning some bits and pieces and fitting some new bits and making it roadworthy again. Nice. And then you can get the little fancy pantograph, is it? Where you fill the paint in here. Yeah, but yeah, maybe another video. Tell you what, it's got a lot of patina, but the actual condition of it is pretty good. It's very light surface corrosion in some bits and pieces, but structurally she feels great. Another 40 years left in this, easy. Just going to clean this thread up now with this fork die. I had a bit of a sticky spot, remember? It's actually running really nicely, so that's good. Yeah, much better. Got my headset back on again today. Hadaway's on at the moment. What is love? Love that. All right, let's just try this cup now, and that should just glide down there. Perfect. All right, let's get this back in the bike with some grease. All right, that's all cleaned up nicely. Obviously get some fresh grease in there. It's a bit of rudimentary seal that's down there. Guess what grease we're using? They've still not called me yet. I'm still waiting. Right, I'll just drop some in the bottom of this cup as well. That I have cleaned, honestly. Nice. Right, drop that back in and top gut back in with some fresh grease uncleaned up. And this should just fly down now because we just cleaned those threads up. Drop this back on. This should have a little tab here that locates in, but it looks like it's worn off over the years. Maybe you never had one. There's your headset in. Just got to tighten this up with 2 spanners now. Check it for play when the bike's back together, but it feels pretty good as it is. Again, this is going to be easy with the wheel in. Stop it spinning the fork. So I'll just tighten it roughly now and then come back to it later. Well, I'll drop the fixed cup in. I've already put some fresh bearings in here with a load of grease because it's a bit difficult to grease when you get it in. And obviously grease the threads as well. That is tight enough for a fixed cup. I've cleaned up that plastic sleeve that I'll just drop in there. Like that. Look at this. The quality. Made in Japan. Nice. So the side with the writing is normally drive side, so we'll go in that way. Drop more grease on there first. That's the adjustable cup. It's literally pretty much as good as new inside there. Amazing. Again, fully loaded. All the grease. And some on the thread, don't forget that. Nip this up. And then just the lock ring. And tighten them up against each other without spinning it. Well, so it's a Shimano and a part tool. They don't like each other. There's not enough room in there, so I'll have to use another one. Use this one instead. I'm just rocking that, see if there's any play in it. It feels really, really smooth. And I can't feel any play. Obviously, when you put cranks on, that's going to amplify that, but that feels pretty good. Just one more tighten, if possible. Final wipe down. Good. All right, go for a break. Come back later. That's 3 hours work to get this far, in case you're wondering. I'll tell you what, I'm not looking forward to putting these tyres on. I'm having to cut this off. Unbelievable. Literally, this side's off. I can't get this bead off. Cutting the tyre off. That is absolutely insane. So I did film all this once, but I had an audio issue, so I might have chopped it out. Depending on how I feel on the edit, you might have seen some of it, but anyway. The problem is, when you try and charge the microphone receiver with the USB, it picks up electrical interference, and then, yeah, it doesn't work very well. So I'll quickly throw this crank back together. Well, that tyre was bonkers, honest to God. Wow. That's only the second tyre in my life I've had to cut off. I just couldn't get it. My dodgy thumb's definitely not helping, but even then, that was just ridiculous. Anyway, stop moaning. Venga Boys is on now. Venga Boys, not good. I think this inner chainring's probably seen better days, but I'm not splashing out any more money on this bike. It's already cost me way too much for content creation, basically. But like I said in an earlier video, I think new members basically have paid for this bike. So channel membership is live. It's a good way to support the channel and projects like this, really. So a couple of quid a month. Just price for a coffee these days, isn't it? Well, less than that, really. And it all adds up, and then I end up buying things like this for the channel and hopefully reselling them. I'm also looking at doing a Patreon as well. I mean, memberships is great, but the problem with that is you can't sort of post pictures and videos. So on Patreon, I'm looking at doing a sort of a VIP level, a premium, and then you can sort of send me videos and pictures, and I'll give you a sort of remote diagnosis where possible. So I can't do that on YouTube. That's the problem. Looking into it, not promising. The derailleur is cleaned up lovely there, look at that, beautiful. Just got to put it back together now. I took it into as many pieces as possible on this one. Yeah, that's good. Well, I'll just wipe the last greasy fingerprints off when it's on the bike. That's done. Left hand crank come up nice as well. This cassette, I took it apart. It's a bit different to the new ones. You can actually undo this and attempt to get it back together again. There's no Hyperglide index ramps on this, so it doesn't make it quite so easy. There's writing here. And you can see where this chain is, so this is obviously the inside of the cassette. wouldn't be that one there because you can't see any chain marks on it. So that's the inside. I done one of these for a while. Flipping heck. Right, I got it. I'll put them grey spaces upside down, that's why. So I'll go on there, that there, and then it'll go onto the wheel itself. And this is the lock ring here to lock it to the hub, so that's done. Right, brakes I'm putting on as they are. There's nothing I could do with this, it's so pitted. I don't think it's going to do anything at all really. Front mech is going to work. Well, I hope somebody can remember how it goes back together. So Shimano 600 is the equivalent of modern day Ultegra basically, so if anybody's got modern day Ultegra and knows how terrible the barrel adjusters are, appreciate the quality of this machining. Well, one of the few bad things that Shimano make, Ultegra barrel adjusters. Now we're going to get some super strong springs back in. So this one lives in here. So get a lot of grease on this. This is critical, this one. That lives in there. The easiest way to do this is take the B screw out. And this hole here goes on this spring. This is where it gets a bit challenging. So it goes in there, then this tab has got to go behind here. So the idea with this now is you put this Allen key in it, you can wind it in like that, and then press it down at the same time, and then get that clip back on. That's the idea in here, but it's not easy. Let me tell you. Like that. So that locks behind there, and then you've got room to get this spring clip in, all while you're holding this spring back. So get this spring on there, pronto. And that's it. So you can take this out now. The B screw will just go back in there when we're ready. Next spring is this one here, goes in here. Again, get some grease on this. Drop the screw back in here, like that. Then wind it around and drop this one into here. And that'll go into here, hold it all together, like that. This is the shortest cage derailleur you've ever seen. Just a comparison, this is a modern derailleur. That's hilarious. Wow, that is hilarious. Obviously, this is a road derailleur and this is a mountain bike, but oh my god, look. The jockey wheel is bigger than the cage. Wow, what a comparison. That is absolutely insane. Somebody asked me the question before if the size difference is that noticeable, but oh my god, it is absolutely massive, the new ones. Jesus, that's insane. Alright, just drop a grease on these and bang them back in. I'm powering through before this battery dies. Story of my life. I've got massive batteries on this thing, 2 of them, but the microphone evidently can't be charged from it, otherwise you get massive interference. I don't think it makes it exciting with you, which is not ideal. And now I'm not buying another microphone, they're not cheap. So that's done and looking absolutely awesome. Beautiful derailleur. We'll see how well it shifts later though. Anyway, I'm going to switch off for today because this battery is just about to die a death, and then come back tomorrow, put it all back together. Well, I actually left these brakes soaking overnight, so hopefully it's clean that up. Yeah, quite nice actually. This is evapor rust. Like I say, it's so pitted and corroded then you're not going to get it much better than this, I don't think. Yeah, got rid of the surface corrosion at least. Good, they can go back on. Really good stuff and pretty much completely reusable. I know you can filter it back in with coffee filters and stuff people have suggested, but to be honest, it just seems to work. Just clean any excess off with just soapy water, this is. So we've got a few new bits for it. We've got some, so this is some older bar tape. It's the same yellow white fade, exactly the same as the picture in the freewheel catalogue that I've showed you the scan of. Well, I'll show you the scan of now if I've not already. And then we have some expensive gear cable. This is the grey silver Shimano gear cable for the rear derailleur. And a full set of brake cables in hopefully a similar grey silver. This is Dura Ace brake cables. Very expensive as well. And they should fit straight in. A pair of tyres. These are Michelin Classic 25s. Seems to be a pretty popular choice for this sort of era bike, so these should look quite good. Also got a replica sticker. This is Columbus Matrix for the seat tube. I don't think it used the ones on the fork actually, but I may still add them anyway. So we're going to get that on as well, which will tidy it up no end. But apart from these, it's just the bottom bracket bearings it's already had. And I think that's it really, to be honest, so we can start putting it back together. I think I'll try and get this sticker on first. There is some residue of the old one still. Just this sort of plastic razor blade, don't worry. Take that residue off. Perfect, even got a bit of a shine, look. Right, I'll wipe that down now with some isopropyl alcohol so that the new one actually sticks to it. I wish it was all that shiny, it'd look awesome. Right, so this will live around about here somewhere. You know, I'm not the world's best sticker on a putter on a. Gonna go about there, isn't it? I can't remember where I got these from. I'll try and put a link down, but if not, remind me and I'll find the link. I hate putting these on. If you saw my rallies drop a video of my stickers, it actually went on okay, but well, makes me nervous. Columbus Matrix. Apparently they had to change the name of Columbus Matrix because Trek got a bit arsey about it because of their Matrix stuff. I think it went to Aero, I can't remember. That's not bad. Good. I was hoping it'd be a bit more glossy than that, but I guess that's what you get for repros. You can't get these from Columbus anymore. Debating putting one on the fork here. I don't think it had one originally, but it goes there. I don't know if these are made of Columbus Matrix, that's the issue. I'll think about it, maybe, maybe not. All right, let's get some bits on. World's smallest derailleur going on. Nice. Does look so good though, honestly. I'm interested to see how well it shifts. I think it'll be okay. Let's get the cranks on next. They should fly together now that everything's clean or new. Get a bit of grease on these tapers. Big debate, I know. I always do. And on she goes. Biopace. I'll not be using the impact gun on these older cranks. Dropped it down to 35 because that was feeling a bit tight. That was good. So there's no pedals to go on, but we've got these fancy crank caps. A little bit of lube on these rings always makes it easier to get it in then. Right, that's the scratched one. I put it on the non-drive side. This is the good one. Can go on here. Push that in a minute. This is why I changed my mallet, because it was marking up bits and pieces like this. Nice. I'll give it a final wipe down when it's all done now. Front mech next. You can clearly see this line where it used to live, so we'll put it somewhere close and see how it looks. I'm going to put a tiny bit of grease on here because these do get a bit sticky. So I'll just line it up with a mark that I can see, or I think I can see, which was about there. Just get it parallel, nip it up gently for now, see how that looks. So you've got to be careful on biopaste because obviously the profile changes dramatically and you still need to maintain 1 to 3 millimeters clearance at the tightest point. So kind of here, we've just got the clearance there. Obviously here you're going to have a much bigger gap, so it can potentially affect your shifting, but normally not too bad. So I'm just going to pull it over now. And that will definitely clear that, no problem. Okay, I'll say it soon flies together once everything's clean and ready. Let's bolt cage on, and again grease these. There was no grease on them and they came straight out, but please grease them. I think it's probably a copy of a Castelli cage or something like that, I believe. Like I say, I'm no expert on bolt cages. So I took the pads out last night when I was doing the Evaporus, so we'll put them back in obviously. Get some grease on this because these do seize. Get your Allen key in there, spin her on, get it sort of level and nip it up. Obviously we need to centre that later. It's easier to spin that on than try and get your Allen key in here and messing around, it's a bit fiddly. Yeah, it's a shame these brakes aren't a bit tidier, but I've looked at these, they're actually fairly cheap to pick up, but depending on the condition obviously. Put the barrel adjuster back in, again get some grease on that, because these really do seize. Not so much this model, but in general. Same on the front. Again, I'll centre that when the wheel goes in, with some cables attached. Straighten this pad up a bit. Throw that on loosely. Obviously we've got to set that with the wheel as well. Quick release still works perfectly. So we'll get this bar on. One thing I tried to film yesterday when the camera went a bit wonky is look at this. This is the older bit of bar tape underneath there. Wow, I don't think it's the original, but pretty funky. I'll leave it on there. Get a ton of grease on this, guys. Jeez. I don't think Shimano make components like this anymore. It's purely just group sets, but they used to make seat posts and handlebar stems. Drop that in there. Right, nip this up for now again. Alignment when the wheel goes in, which is imminent. I'm going to leave that in there so I don't forget. Yeah, I forgot to fit this, it fell off. This just goes behind there, so I think it's a bit of a seal if anything. I don't think it does a lot. Starting to look a bit better. Get these tyres on these wheels and then we can really get it rolling. As suspected, the front wheel is a 105. I thought it would be. They've cleaned up actually really, really nicely. Bearings feel good, so I'm not going to do the bearings on this particular service. They feel very good as they are. And again, the back wheel's cleaned up nice. So this is the difference on a Uniglide. Piece here is threaded rather than a lock ring that threads on the inside. The top sprocket threads on the outside and locks the sprockets in place. That's the difference. Well, a few more differences, but that's the basic difference. Just drop that on. One more spacer, make sure these slots cover those screws, otherwise it doesn't sit properly. Like that. And it just screws on. You tighten this up with a chain whip, but however, think about it, when you're going down to this gear and pedal, all it's going to do is tighten it up. I'll just nip it up slightly just to make sure we don't have issues with the gears, are we? Trying to set them up with the spacing, etc. It's a bit cleaner than before anyway. Good. Alright, I'm going to chuck a tyre on this, put the skewer back in, get it on the bike. And both these skewers have cleaned up really, really nicely. Original Shimano ones. They don't make them like they used to. I just had this hilarious comment from a guy called Larry. Hope you're watching, mate. I'm calling everybody that's British a useless mechanic and I need to go to school and read a book on how to fix bikes. So, cheers, mate. Thank you. Honestly. I know you're not supposed to feed the trolls, but I couldn't resist it on this one. I pinned his comment for you. Right, I'm going to throw this tyre on. Hopefully it goes on a bit better than the old one that came off. Wow. Right, that should be okay. That'll go on there. Definitely not a tyre lever you're hearing. Plop. There you go, got it on, no problem. Right, let's get some air in this bad boy. Right, that's in. I'll put a vintage 120 psi in there. I haven't really. It's about 80, I think. I hope these fit. I'm pretty sure they will. Yeah, that's going to go, no problem. That's just the brake it's rubbing on. I've not centered it yet, obviously, all the pads. We'll do that when we put some cables on it. Right, front wheel back in as well. Sorry, the light's gone a bit weird outside again. I'll get some blinds fitted to the workshop. Right, I've just trued this wheel ever so slightly, had a little bit of a wobble in it, but not too bad at all. Again, that's just rubbing on the brakes. Where's all my 5mm Allen keys? It's no wonder I can't find a 5mm Allen key. 2, 3, 4, 5. Centre this a bit better now. And get these pads somewhere close. Oh, Larry, how do I do it? Normally I delete stupid comments like that, but on this one I let it run because, well, it's just funny. Personal attacking comments, I will delete you guys, I'm sorry, but it's my community. Yeah, it's my rules, my house kind of thing. Fair criticism is good, well, I've made a mistake, but if you've just been a knob, no thanks. Alright, that's good, so now I can align this handlebar. I don't know if Larry uses a laser. Larry the laser, maybe you should. So if you check it now, it gives you a real good indication of where you're supposed to be. Obviously you can do it by eye, you don't need a laser, but it can help some people. And again, just use whatever you're using to tighten this up without moving it. It's pretty damn tight and we're still straight. Put this rapidly perishing bung back in. Which way the lines went? Well, about there. That's in. I think the lines must be aero, so it goes that way. One thing I didn't do is lubricate the derailleur after I've stripped it all out, so just give this a real good blast in on all pivots and the spring if you can get to it, and just work that in. Nice. Gives it a bit of a shine as well, a bit more corrosion resistance. Not that it's needed it, it's in fantastic. A little bit of road rash on here, but apart from that, it's actually in really good shape. Chuck some on the front as well. So I'm going to just drop this wheel out, otherwise I'm just going to get it all over the tyre. So I forgot to do it while it was on the bench. Apologies. Totally different action on these. It's moving this way rather than straight in and out. But it's moving. Just to drop in these as well. They're actually working really nicely. See, I don't think they're supposed to be sprung loaded. I think it was just a bit loose before. Let's see when we get a cable in, see how it sits. Right, I'll just chuck some cables in here so I can put these little plastic bits in before I lose them, because I'm just a bit paranoid. They're tiny. There you go, good. I think we'll get these under the bottom bracket shell now and somewhere near the derailleur. Right, so I'm going to run some plastic liner through here. I mean, that's how it came from the factory, but it just seems to me maybe that liner didn't exist back then. Right, I mean, that's got to work better, hasn't it, surely? Right, that goes to the front derailleur. And we'll get another one in for the rear mech as well. Maybe, like I say, maybe this tubing wasn't really around at the time. Oh, that went straight through. Right, that has got to work better than what it was, in my opinion. Just ask yourself though, what would Larry do? That's the important bit. Now we can just connect that up. It just goes over the top of here. Gear lever is in the correct position. So I'm just putting that in. There's no barrel adjuster, but we don't have any indexing, so we don't need it. Let's try that. No chain on, so we can move this easily. Yeah, that'll definitely work. Beautiful. Right, quite happy to trim this now. And obviously an end cap. Right, so rear derailleur. This is the original piece of housing. Like I say, we need to use this to locate in there, but I've got a new piece. It's pretty much the right length as well. We are going to have to trim off this end cap here to get this one on instead. Right, here we go. So that's on there now. Fresh outer. And so that bit locates into the stop here. Like that. And through to this amazing derailleur. We don't know if it works yet. Right, good. Right, nip this up. We've got a barrel adjuster, obviously. So. Wow, such a nice derailleur, honestly. Did I mention I quite like these? Let's try this shifter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wasn't in the right gear. Do it again. Rookie mistake. Gear lever wasn't in the right position. There you go. Yeah. Right, now try again. Look at that. So we need a chain. Right, let's chuck a chain on here and see what we're looking like. Looking good. Right, this bike is going into the 21st century with a quick link chain. Okay, workshop pedal, and it's time to get going. Up to the big ring. Bit of rubbing. We do need to tighten that cable a little bit. Still a bit of rubbing on here. Let's have a look at the back gears then. 1 up 1. Straight up, didn't even touch it. A little bit noisy. It just needs a little bit more tension. It's just struggling a little bit there, and it's a bit slamming coming down, so it just needs a little bit more cable tension to get it up there a bit smoother. A couple of turns maybe. Up there, let's go. Better. Beautiful. I'm going back down. Perfect. I've just got to sort this front one out because it's rubbing in a little bit. So just looking at it, this derailleur is not exactly parallel. Probably about another 0.5 millimeter to come over this way. So I'll just shift that over. It don't take much for a big difference. All right. That should be enough. That's already got that. All right, let's get back up there. Straight up there and quiet. So yeah, it's literally 0.25 millimeter out of alignment, and that was all it needed. That's on small. Being friction, you just trim it. There you go, 7-speed, working like a dream. Do the whole cassette in one swoop, like that. Up to there. Look at that. Beautiful. Right, brakes next. They're just brake cables now. So these are the new ones, and these are the old ones. I'm just going to match them up basically, lengthwise. Normally I just use sort of black off the roll stuff. It's 30-meter rolls, but on this one it's not really going to suit, so I bought some nice stuff. So I'm just going to tidy that up on the grinder. You can't leave that sharp bit there. That'll just spin straight off. Nice flush end. There you go. And this piece of outer, we'll just go down to the brake, obviously. No end caps on this. It doesn't, end cap doesn't fit in there or here. And the old one that came off didn't have any either. It's got a bit of a groove in this bar, so that'll be taped into there. A little bit on the long side actually. I might trim a bit off there. Yeah, I'll trim an inch off that. Tape that to the bar. That's not a bad length. Potentially could get away with a tiny bit shorter. That'll be okay. This back one, I'm going to run this through the frame first. The shame these are not a bit tidier, but it might be able to clean them up a bit with just some soapy water. I think you can get replica hoods for these 6400s. I'm not sure you still get original. Well, these are not very retro, are they? You'd have at least 120 back then, wouldn't you? I surprised a customer yesterday because he's got some 28s on his modern road bike and he's been running them at 100 psi. I was like, you're wondering why you're getting so many punctures. So we went on the Silka website with his weight, etc. 67 psi was a recommendation, so he should be in for a comfy ride. Right, that should be about there. Nip this up. That was with inner tubes, by the way. Let's try that lever. Not too bad at all. And again, just connect this front one up. Make sure your quick release is closed. Feels really good actually. Nice. Genuine Shimano end caps on these. I want to be genuine for how much they cost. Should I clean these bars? I'll get told off if I don't want to. Yeah, I'll clean these bars first. Just before we do wrap this up, quick pause to say thank you to the video sponsor, Sport and Leisure. So when you're in the middle of a job, big job like this, the last thing you want is progress to come to a grinding halt because a part you ordered that said it was in stock wasn't even in the same country. I've been there, done that. That's why I use Sport and Leisure. They're UK based, their stock levels are live. If the website says it's on the shelf, it really is on the shelf, ready to go. Order before 3 PM, ships the same day, free delivery, all UK orders. You want it faster than that, £2.50 for next day delivery. No brainer. So they've also updated the discount scheme for the channel. If you head over to sportandleisure.com/BCR or scan this QR code on the screen, it'll generate a unique voucher at checkout for 10% off at your first order. If you're buying parts anyway, it's an easy saving. So the link's down below. Thanks again to sportandleisure.com for continuing to support the channel. And let's finish this Italian stallion. So anybody in the UK back in the day might remember the old freewheel catalogues. Fantastic things from basically from Madison really. So anything you can get from those, absolutely awesome. So here's the Rossins in here. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Drooling over these as a kid, that's for sure. And then right at the back we have this one here. So reduced to clear, £499. So this is basically the bike that's in the stand, I think. Pretty much Columbus Matrix. That's the saddle we should have gone. Used to have some dark anodized rims on there at some point. Apart from that, toe clips, it doesn't have those. Well, it has no pedals, so I can get away with that one. So here's the bar tape we're looking at anyway. So this is what we're trying to replicate. So we've got a silver to a yellow fade. So that's what we're going to try and match. And that, I hope, is what I bought. So I'm a bit nervous about this because I've never wrapped 30, 40-year-old bar tape. I don't know how well it's going to go. I'm hoping this stuff here is going to be pretty close to it. So let's get going with that. Right, I've cleaned them up the best I can with some quite strong chemicals, shall we say, to the extent I was a little bit concerned for the bar's safety. That glue has been on there a long time. Looking good. Okay, so this is the tape. Bear in mind, I've never wrapped a handlebar with tape from the 80s. I was 7 years old, so. This is a bit weird because it says it's one piece of 3.7 meters. However, it's two pieces and certainly doesn't add up to 3.7 meters. So I don't know if I've been scammed and someone's cut this, torn it, whatever. But clearly that's nowhere near long enough to wrap one side of the bar. This is, but looking at the instructions, it tells you to start at the top, cut it at the brake lever, start at the bottom and rejoin it in the middle. I don't know what you're supposed to join it with. I've never wrapped a bar like that in my life. So I'm going to go Google and see how they expect you to do that because that's a new one to me. Right, I'll be back. So I've measured that tape and it's about 1 meter short from what's advertised on the box. So it looks like someone just snipped a piece off over the years and borrowed it for a job, which was nice. I can't see any way that's going to go on there. Basically what they're telling you to do is wrap this piece to here, tuck it in there, wrap this piece to here, tuck it in here, and have this basically hold it in place. But this is so perished and worn, it's never going to grip that. It's just going to end up as a mess with sticky tape around here, and I don't want to do it. Anyway, I'm a bit annoyed about that, to say the least, so I'm going to have to go for a plan B and wrap it with something a bit more conventional. So I'm going to use this basically leather effect tape. It's the best I can do, really, unfortunately, but yeah, it's super frustrating. I've had that tape for probably 3 months ready for this project, but I didn't bother looking in the box, unfortunately, so I guess it's my own fault. But anyway, we're going to go with this stuff and get it wrapped up. Just do a normal figure of 8 around here. It'll look a lot better, but yeah, wow, I'm frustrated. Scammed. I've had a go, right? I've had a go. There is a join here, it's not very good. And it actually looks really, really nice. And I'm pretty sure I could tidy that up to make it work. However, There's nowhere near enough left here. That's basically less than a metre there. You need kind of 2 metres for a bar. So it's just not going to work, unfortunately, but it's a shame because it looks fantastic. It feels really nice, but I've been scammed at the end of the day. Anyway, instead of that black stuff, I've just found a sort of modern equivalent of this, which will be here tomorrow. So I'm going to put this to one side for now and jump back on it tomorrow and get some, hopefully, slightly more appropriate bar tape on it. But wow, super annoying, guys, but hey, you can't win them all, can you? I'll edit the rest of this, back tomorrow, chuck the tape on, job done. Right, I think we're 3 days later now. I've got this stuff coming in the post, but I'm not convinced by this. It's a sort of a pastel fade yellow to white. I think for the purposes of the video, I might just throw it on rather than that black stuff. And then, I don't know. I'm still annoyed. 3 days later, I'm still annoyed by that. It looks so good, the bit that you could fit, but there ain't no way there was enough there. I did find some more in America, but it was stupid price and obviously not going to get here in the next week. So picture says yellow at the top, fade into a white down the bottom, so that's kind of there. So let's do that, see what it looks like. Anybody else had that problem before? So annoying. I'm leaving this on. Bit of history for the bike. You know what, this actually looks quite nice. It's probably showing a bit white on the camera. This is more of a pastel yellow, but it actually looks really good actually. Yeah, okay, we can live with that, I think. Yeah. I'll just tidy this up and wrap the other side and then we're about done. Actually looks pretty good, I think. Like I say, this light's showing it up a bit white, but it is actually really quite nicely yellow. There's a big spider here, excuse me. Anyway, in case you're wondering, that's by Maruka from Amazon. So nice and cheap as well. A couple of last minute checks on the handlebar. That is aligned. Stem is tight. Brakes feel fantastic. There is no pedal still. I'm just going to throw some lube on the chain, but apart from that, calling this one done. So I get told off for not doing after pictures, so this is really, I'll give you a quick skim over. So the drivetrain obviously cleaned up beautifully, working fantastically with the new cables. What a mech, honestly. Pretty impressed with these tyres, actually. They come out, they actually suit the bike really, really nicely. Brakes, yeah, we could have done something nicer with those, but like I say, they're actually pretty cheap on eBay for used ones, so we're not going to look at that. And actually that bar tape, not too bad at all. I did at least add some chrome caps on there, so we've got a bit of a vintage touch to it. But yeah, she's looking good. Really nice actually, enjoyed that one. We'll sneak peek of next week's video as well, so if you like your modern mountain bikes, you're going to enjoy that one. Wow, what a job. So we're done. Actually turned out okay with this bar tape. I still prefer the other one, the original sort of 80s one, but you know, what can you do? Anyway, who doesn't like a bit of Italian steel? Shimano 600, fantastic, classic group set. Might upset some people, Italian frame with no campag. Sorry, it's just how it came, but it's a cracking little bike, this is, really is. Come out really nice in the end. So yeah, I've got to sell this bike, so if anybody in the UK is interested in, then get in touch. There's no use to me, I bought it purely for content for the channel. Hope you enjoyed it, hope it was worth it. But yeah, I need to move this on anyway. So if you did enjoy the content, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, notifications, like, hype, all that great stuff. Really does help the channel grow. Anyway, thank you for your time, and I'll see you again next week.